Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, our International Business Law. My name is Abbas Poorhashemi. I am the president of the Canadian Institute for International Law Expertise, CIFILE. As you probably know, CIFILE is composed of scientific members, representatives, lawyers, law practitioners, and associates worldwide aim to develop international law by training and compliance of the rule of law at the national and international levels. CIFILE facilitates access to justice and legal professionals around the world and provide legal services, including international law expertise, contract law, immigration, funding a lawyer in different countries, online courses, and publications. In this series of International Business Law webinar, we are going to present the basic of this branch of law and its practice in some countries. This branch of law is dealing with three kinds of relationship between states and the states, between states and person, and between persons and person, which we called it private international law. International business law is a body of legal rules, conventions, treaties, domestic legislation, and commercial customs which govern international business transactions. A transaction will qualify to be international if elements of more than one country are involved. International business contracts are sales of goods or services transaction agreements made between parties from different countries. In this context, the method of entering to the foreign market can be export directly, use of foreign agent to sell and distribute, use of foreign distributor to unsell to legal customer, manufacture product in the foreign country, license it to the local business, enter into a joint venture with a foreign country, or appoint a franchise in the foreign country. One of the legal instruments of international business law is the United Nations Convention of Contract for the International Sale of Goods, CISG. The main purpose of this convention is for international sale of goods. The CISG governs contracts for the international sales of goods between private business, including sale of consumer and excluding sale of customers and sales of service, as well as certain specific type of goods. So in many transactions regarding the sale of goods, we should consider this convention and see if it is applicable for this transaction or not. As you know, the parties of contract may exclude the application of the CISG convention. So the other issue that is crucial in any international transaction is Incoterms. Incoterms inform sales contract by defining respective obligations, costs, and risk involved in the delivery of goods from seller to buyer. In Incoterms 2010, the 18th revision refer to newest collection of essential international commercial and trade terms with 11 rules. The International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, is responsible for revising Incoterms periodically to reflect changing practices in international trade. Another issue that is important to consider is in any international transaction is insurance. In fact, the event of international, in the loss or damage to cargo during transportation, the insured party will be able to recover losses from insurer. The type of insurance required depend on the method of transport agreed between parties to transport the cargo. Such insurance forms include marine, aviation, and land. Terms of payment in international trade also are important. Which kind of payment is acceptable in international business law? Cash in advance, for example, buyer transfer fund to the seller's account in advance. Open account, arrangement for the buyer to advance fund to an open account of the seller, or on a fixed date upon the occurrence of a specified event, such as delivery of the goods. A bill of exchange as a negotiable instrument, documentary bill, or documentary credits. The bank, on behalf of the buyer, issues a letter of credit undertaking to pay the price of the sale contract on condition that the seller compliance with credit terms. Another legal question here is whether the sale of goods or service in international transaction is necessary to determine whether it's the law of the exporting country or the law is importing country are applied. The party often resolve that question as part of their agreement by using a choice of law clauses. Another issue in the international transaction is conflict of law. Conflict of law must often be resolved by determining the significance of contract with regard to one or both parties involved in this transaction. There are some other issues in the matter that we could elaborate in upcoming webinar and with our host. Finally, harmonization of international business law could be a solution for international transactions. There are some degrees of uniformity in commercial practice between the contracting parties. The United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL, provides some model law on international commercial arbitration, international credit transfer, economic signatures, electronic commerce. On the other hand, international organizations also that attempt to harmonize international commercial law include UNCITRAL, important in the area of international carriage of goods, international bill of exchange, and promissory note and international arbitration. UNIDROIT, important in the area of international financing, leasing, and sale of goods. Notably, UNIDROIT has created the principle of international commercial contract. Hague Conference on Private International Law also is another organization involved in international transaction. The organization draft convention in the field of private international law. International Chamber of Commerce, influential in harmonizing international contract terms and global arbitration practices. For conclude my presentation, international business law is the practice of law in a global business context. International trade includes, at the same time, many factors such as economic situation, law and regulations, political consideration, technical issues such as commercial transportation, licensing, tariffs, tax, conflict of law, and many other topics. International business law varies by jurisdiction and national regulations. That's the reason why we have invited our scientific member and our lawyers in Italy and Turkey to tell us more about business challenges and opportunity in their respective countries. Thank you for listening my presentation, and I would like to invite Professor Sreenivasulu to discuss more about intellectual property law and international business law. Professor Sreenivasulu is a distinguished professor of law at the University of Juridical Sciences of India, and he's also a scientific member of the Canadian Institute for International Law Expertise, CIFI. Professor Sreenivasulu, we are looking to hearing from you.
Thank you, President. Am I audible? Very good morning.
Good morning. Yes,
to the participants who are from Canada and USA, and good evening for my Indian friends. As mentioned by the host and the president of Canadian Institute for International Expertise, today's event is basically on international business. And international business can be conducted only by following certain rules and regulations, which we also call as a code of conduct, which would facilitate through the legal frontiers the conduct of international business. And as such, international business law is such a gamut of laws, legislations, international conventions, and treaties, which would span across different disciplines. The disciplines of trade, investment, finance, economics, contracts, corporations, and also intellectual property rights realm. Conducting of any business, perhaps, would either start with entering into a contract or by establishing a corporation. So from the perspective of a lawyer, the business would either start with a contract law or with corporate law or corporations law, or sometimes through the law of partnerships, which is again a contract. So basically, any international business for that matter would begin with either application of contract law or the application of corporate law, either at a domestic level or at international level. It could be business at national level or could be at international level. You would begin your baby steps for your business or business entrepreneurship through applying the contract law or corporate law. After which you have to deal with some amount of investment for setting up your business, for launching your business. So you need to draw either some investors, which could be private, public, and even sometimes governments also, right? So in the realm of investment law, as we debate, the investors could be private parties, public parties, and as well governments also. We talk about foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment, public-private partnerships and all. So which is all investment law as such. And sometimes when you start your business without having big investors or without you being a big investor, in such cases, your business would begin with some credit or some loan or some on debt. Especially it happens in the cases of export and imports, where exporters export their goods on credit, or they will arrange money for their business through financial institutions by borrowing loans and all. So there you come across finance law, international finance law, which would not finance entire your business, but it would finance a particular aspect or a particular transaction of a business. It could be your export or it could be your import. In such cases, you come across a bill of lading, right? Bill of credit, and such other financial documents, instruments, through which you would finance certain aspects of certain transactions of your international business. So there you come across international finance law, right? And as I mentioned, international business law is such gamut of law which comprises of a number of disciplines, number of fields, including that of contracts, corporations, investors, right? And also finances. And it also doesn't go without talking about international trade law, because whatever you export, it could be goods or it could be services that you are dealing with. If you are dealing with more than one nation or multinational business, if you are into, you have to deal with international trade law as well. You may be trading in agricultural goods, pharmaceutical, electronics, or communications, whatever could be your business. You generally come across international trade law, which is documented or which is administered by the World Trade Organizations. And as the lawyers of current today know about this international trade law very well, which comprises of more than 20 odd different international treaties and conventions, which has been facilitating international business since 1995, which has made the entire business world into a single global or world market as such. And all these businesses, in whatever way you get through, it may be a limited liability partnership or a general partnership, a corporate house, or it could be a family business. You may be dealing with agricultural, electronics, pharmaceutical, whatever may be the business. One particular aspect of business which would provide face value to your business. There is one particular discipline of international business which would lift the competitive advantage, which would provide advantage to your business, which rather would add glamour to your business, which rather would add color to your business. Yes, I'm talking about intellectual property rights. It would add glamour to your business. It would add competitive advantage to your business. It would lift the face value of your business because it deals with the goodwill, reputation, name, fame. It's all about giving that extra additional value to your business by branding your business or by having a particular type of recognition, identity to your business by having some aspect of intellectual property rights law as such to add value to your business or to support your business. Believe me, in modern days business, at least 1/3 of the business is dependent on goodwill. And that goodwill doesn't come just by using a trademark, or that goodwill doesn't come by using a particular name, sign, or symbol. And that goodwill, reputation, name, fame, whatever we are talking about, which is accounting to or amounting to one-third of the entire business, doesn't have any physical value, doesn't have any physical existence, doesn't have any material existence. As I mentioned, it is add-on value. Its value would appear only when there is some regular, physical, general, or material-based business capital or business entrepreneurship is already there in place. So such kind of value addition, whatever you would like to have for your business, can be done through the use and application of international intellectual property rights law. You may be dealing with agrarian business. You may be into pharmaceutical business. Nowadays, the pharmaceutical industry is looming large. Everybody is looking at the pharmaceutical industry because people would like to live and would like to continue their life. And nowadays, because of the COVID-19, life has been threatened. And the research and innovation in the pharmaceutical sector, our pharmaceutical business has become the lifeline of the mankind now, right? Forget about the kind of revenues, the kind of money that pharma industry would make in the current scenario. Everybody would like to look towards pharmaceutical industry, and whatever may be the price cost, right? People are ready to offer it because everything is affordable now as far as pharmaceutical industry is concerned, as and when they're trying to come out with some solution, some response to this COVID-19 scenario, right? So in this current pandemic scenario, in entrepreneurship or business in the pharmaceutical sector is having greater chances, bigger chances at the same time, challenges, opportunities as well. So if you are into agriculture or if you are into pharmaceutical, the kind of intellectual property rights that would give value addition to your business is that of patent, right? You must be having some minimum knowledge about patent in general, because general people in general or public at large, general masses, they think that intellectual property rights is all about patent and patent is all about intellectual property rights. And even the scientific communities also think that patents is the intellectual property right, or intellectual property rights mean only patent, because they know only patent, because they are into innovation, they are into research, and research and innovation and the kind of entrepreneurship is actually measured in terms of awarding of patent. The number of patents you are holding, the number of patent licensing that you are having for your business entrepreneurship would have extra value addition to your business. As we all know, in the current scenario, India, South Africa, and as well USA has been pestering on suspension of intellectual property rights or patents in the times of COVID pandemic scenario, wherein any kind of vaccine which is going to resist the spread of COVID-19 virus should be kept outside the purview of intellectual property rights, or should be kept outside the purview of general, typical, orthodox business lenses. That has been the call now. But nevertheless, the governments themselves are actually pouring money. Government themselves are investing money into those business houses. For example, in India, Bharat Biotech, Serum Institute, and number of such other biotechnology or pharmaceutical companies have been funded now directly by the governments. Right? It's not that when intellectual property rights or patents are suspended as far as pharmaceutical industry is concerned in the current COVID scenario, it doesn't mean that you are going to lose your money. It doesn't mean that you are going to lose your investment. Either the government itself is investing money or government itself is purchasing all your products or all your output. Such is the scenario now in the pharmaceutical industry, not only in India, across the globe. I'm sure it must be same in Turkey, or Italy, and as well Canada and USA as well, because saving of the life of the people has become more important for governments, and by virtue of which they themselves are getting into funding the businesses, business houses who are into pharmaceutical industry. So what I'm trying to say is, depending upon the sector that you're actually trying to enter into any business entrepreneurship, the kind of intellectual property rights would come to your help to lift the face value of your business. As I mentioned, in the agrarian business or in the pharmaceutical business, the patent on an agricultural method, or a patent on a particular plant variety, or a patent on a particular genetically modified seed would give additional value to that agrarian company. For example, take Monsanto. Monsanto is having its own branches across the globe. And in India also, Monsanto is having its own branch called Mahiko Monsanto. And as you all know that Monsanto has been the biggest, largest agrarian company in the world, entire world. Believe me, Monsanto is having patents in more than 50 countries. And these 50 odd patents, whatever Monsanto company is having, which is into agrarian business, which is actually recording for the kind of face value that Monsanto is having, right? Monsanto is actually either funding different agrarian companies in different countries like India, Canada, and other nations as well. And by virtue of which, those funded business entities, the patents would also become the patents of this big giant agrarian company called Monsanto. So Monsanto's business is now looming large, thanks to the number of patents that it is having whenever it is into different types of innovations in the agrarian sector, which would boost the output or yield, whatever you call it as. Similarly, in case of your pharmaceutical industry as well, the innovations which can cure cancer, which can help out in fighting against AIDS, or in the current scenario COVID-19, such kind of business entrepreneurships would also get patent rights. Of course, may not be in the immediate future because nations are demanding suspension of IPRs or patents, but in the larger interest, after the 1 or 2 years, when people will be able to, the international society will be able to completely combat COVID, then the IPR or patents sphere would again come back in the pharmaceutical sector. So in the pharmaceutical sector, if you are into a business entrepreneurship, patents, obtaining patent, it could be patent registration, or if you do not have an innovation for yourself, you can obtain license, you can obtain assignments, right? So either you become the patent owner or you obtain patent licensing, which would help you out in lifting the face value of your business. The number of patents that you're having or number of patent licensing that you're having would not only help you in boosting your face value of your business, but as well it will help your research and development team. And by virtue of that, you will be able to come out with the new products into the market, right? Research and innovation division of your industry would help you in coming out with new and novel products, which would cater the contemporary needs of the society. And that can be measured, that can be incentivized, that can be rewarded through the conferment of patent, right? So patent is the right incentive for those business entrepreneurships who are into, say, agrarian business, or who are into, say, pharmaceutical businesses, right? There are certain business houses which are into completely media. It could be print media, it could be electronic, or it could be digital media, or films as well. They are actually using copyrightable subject matter as raw material, right? Any media house for that matter, they will be dealing with some creativity. And creativity is the basic threshold of our copywriting, right? So whatever may be the creativity that you are actually embarking on, that you are trying to exploit for your media related business, it could be ad agency, it could be filmmaking agency, it could be publication house, or it could be a digital platform, internet service provider, or online databases. All that you're actually dealing with is knowledge business if you're into, right? Or if you're into creative industry, knowledge related industry or creative industry, the kind of intellectual property rights that would give value addition to you is copyright. One has to obtain copyright if they are actually the creators or authors of that subject matter which they're actually dealing with, or if they are not the actual original authors, they will have to obtain license or assignment from the original authors of such copyrightable subject matter. So media business, creative industry, films, newspapers, magazines, or you are into television channels, social networking sites, internet service providing, you are actually dealing with the subject matter of copyright law and obtaining copyright protection either as a author, direct registration, or as a user by obtaining license. You would have that value addition and as well protection for your business and investment. Because whenever we talk about business, either at the national level or international level, billions of dollars will be poured into that business. And an intellectual property rights misuse or abuse or non-use would result in great amounts of losses. That's why I said, if your business is into 100 crores, 33 crores minimum would be dependent completely on this value addition oriented intellectual property rights conferment, use and application, right? And if you're into creative and creativity or creativity based business or media houses or creative industry, and use of copyrightable subject matter or obtaining license would be of paramount importance, because every day whatever knowledge that you're actually trying to deal with is actually the subject matter of copyright law. So as I mentioned, depending upon the kind of business that you're actually into, the kind of intellectual property rights would come into picture, which would actually give competitive advantage to you, or which would give you face value, which would actually boost up your name, fame, reputation, and goodwill. Whenever we talk about goodwill, the first thing that would come to the minds of our IPR lawyers or intellectual property lawyers would be that of trademark, because trademark is the business ambassador. Trademark is the business identifier. Trademark is the business carrier. And trademark actually carries the name, the fame, the reputation, and the goodwill of business house for that matter. And that goodwill, name, fame, reputation can be measured, assessed, and valued depending upon the kind of qualitative business that you're actually into, qualitative goods that you supply, qualitative services that you actually provide for, right? So the branding of your business to be the best, to be the good, to be the better, whatever, that takes place based upon the trademark, by using the trademark. So the name, fame, goodwill would actually add up to not 33% of the business, more than 50% of the business, right? And because depending upon the branding, depending upon the goodwill that you actually owned, the prices of your business would be given, and the number of investors who would be ready to pour money into your business would also look into the kind of branding that you're having, the kind of quality that you're actually renowned for, the kind of name, fame that you're actually having. So every angle, every stake in your business would actually depend upon your name, fame, reputation, and goodwill. And for all these things, trademark is the carrier of name, fame, reputation, and goodwill. Trademark is the business ambassador. Trademark is the business identifier. So your business will be identified with a particular quality, particular goodwill, name, fame, right? All that is because of the trademark that you have actually obtained for your own as the trademark owner, or the trademark license that you have obtained as the trademark user, right? So trademark to be the business identifier. Unlike your patents and copyrights, trademark would actually account for more than half of your business price, because it is the goodwill, name, fame, which would carry more value, right, compared to any other aspect in the business. Because nowadays we see in the general business, as any business for that matter, people would like to go for those qualitative products or services which have got the name, established reputation, established quality, known goodwill, well-known quality. All these things are the synonyms of trademark, right? So goodwill carrier is nothing but your trademark. So if you want to have some good name, some good fame, good reputation for your business, you need to ensure that you actually provide some qualitative service, some qualitative business you're actually into, and for carrying that quality, you need to have an identity. And that identity is actually provided by a particular sign, symbol that you actually end up using to represent your business, or to carry the name of your business, right? So such being the case, your trademark across any discipline of business for that matter would give you that market identity, would also help you in capturing market, would also help the customer in reaching out to you, the producer, the manufacturer, or the business house, right? So this particular aspect of intellectual property rights law, or the trademark aspect as such, would actually give you that market identity for your business, would help you in garnering goodwill, would help you in capturing market, identifying, attracting the customer. And that's the reason why we actually ask all the business houses, business entrepreneurs, to have a particular title, particular identity, particular sign, symbol, or emblem, name, logo, right, to represent their business in the market, to help customers, consumers to identify a particular business in the market, because of which business houses can capture the market, because of which business houses can make their identity, presence felt in the market, right? So this aspect of intellectual property, that is the trademark aspect, covers, spans across all the different types of business houses, irrespective of the fact whether we're into agriculture, pharmaceutical, right, media house related business, creative industry related business, or you're into electronics or automobiles, whatever, right? So another aspect of intellectual property rights law, which would help to lift the face value of the business, or which would help the business to capture the market, would be that of designs. For instance, if you are into automobile business, if you are into electronics, or if you are into computer industry related business, or if you're into construction as well, where you actually involve in designing a particular automobile, designing the computer gadget or electronic gadget, or you would design the architecture of a particular building, construction or layout, or you may be also into designing the semiconductors or motherboards of electronic gadgets. So all that you're actually dealing with is designing. You're actually conceiving an idea, then going about designing, expressing that idea in the form of the design of the layout of either an electronic gadget or a computer gadget, automobile gadget, or for that matter, designing the layout of a particular building, construction, or a layout of a real estate related layout as well. So there we are actually dealing with design, the art of designing, which is dependent upon an idea which you have conceived for the purpose of coming out with a unique type of automobile, a unique type of car or a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, or unique type of computer, smartphone, mobile, or a unique type of building construction, which could be very special or very innovative in terms of its showing its identity, its look, right? So when you go about designing all these business articles, its shape, its ornamentation, its outlook, its outer skin, or its outer layer, whatever you call it as, would come under the clutches of industrial design law. So when you are actually into the business of automobile, when you're actually into the business of electronics, computers, or construction, so the basic job of the beginning point of your business would be to conceive an idea and draw the design of that particular automobile output, automobile vehicle, computer gadget, or for that matter, that building which you are actually trying to construct. That designing is subject to protection under the design law, which is also called as the copyright in design. And depending upon the design that you have actually protected, you can block or you can stop any other business entrepreneurs or any other business stakeholders who would like to use it, reuse it, or copy it, right? So it becomes an asset of your industry who are into, say, automobiles or computers or even the electronics. Depending upon the secret design which you have actually gone about protecting through the registration under the designs law, either at national level or international level, the face value of your business whenever you are into automobile, electronics, or into construction would depend. And when I say that you are into automobile, electronics, communications, or construction, the designing, the beginning of the designing would be under copyright law. And whenever you end up executing or expressing that design, not in the black and white way, or not on computer in the 3D format, but in the actual ground level, or when you reduce the design to be applied on any finished industrial article, it could be a laptop, it could be a desktop, or it could be a smartphone, or it could be a two-wheeler, four-wheeler, or it could be actually to be constructed a building. Then it becomes the subject matter of your designs law, industrial designs. So what I'm trying to say is, all these business entrepreneurs will have to know very well about how to protect their design, because the beginning of these business entrepreneurships or business houses would be to get a particular design drawn, and to get that drawn unique design to be protected at national level or international level, depending upon the stakes that they have got, depending upon the market that they have got, or customers base that they have got, to ensure that the same design is not copied, the same design is not misused by the fellow competitors or rivals in the market. And that can be done, and that can be done through the registration. And by virtue of registration, you will be able to only be the business entrepreneur who will be allowed across the globe to use that design. And depending upon that design, you may capture the market, you may be able to convince or influence the customer, and by virtue of that, you can expand your business, right? So what I'm trying to say is, these intellectual property rights aspects, right, would not only give you face value addition, but would ensure that by drawing some amount of goodwill, reputation, name, fame, a unique type of products or unique quality of products would help you in garnering not only the reputation, name, and fame, but well, it could draw attention of those investors who would be willing to pour money into your business, by virtue of which your business can be expanded. It would also attract, influence those financiers who would be ready to finance your business transactions, if not the entire business. It would also help those individuals who would like to become stakeholders in your business as a partner or as a shareholder. It would also help the market stakeholders, the basic stakeholders of the market, that is customers, to get not only the best choice of goods, services, qualitative goods and services, but as well they would be attracted to your business by virtue of which your business gets expanded. So in every level, from different angles, these intellectual property rights conferment through the obtaining of patent, copyright, say design rights or trademarks, you are going to have different stakes to fulfill. You are going to fulfill different aspects of your business. You are not only going to have market identity, you are not only going to garner the attention of the customers. You are going to lure the investors. You will be able to get better finances. You will be able to expand your business, say from a national corporation, you can become multinational corporation, and you will be able to have liquidity for your business by attracting different financial institutions to finance various transactions of your business. And not only that, you will be able to attract different insurance houses as well, who would be ready and willing to provide insurance for your different business transactions and as well your entire business as such. So what I'm trying to say is, out of this entire gamut of international business law, which is meant for providing code of conduct or regulatory structure, regulatory norms for ensuring a smooth, free, and fair type of conduct of business, either at national level or international level, and that can be smoothened, right? Further glorified, added value, more value would be added, or added glamour or color by the registration or obtaining license of intellectual property rights. So if you are into international business or you are into national business, it could be any type of business ranging from agrarian business, pharmaceutical business, electronics, media related, creative industry, or knowledge related, any type of business for that matter. In the contemporary world, in the modern world, where the quality matters, where the reputation matters, where the identity matters, where the goodwill matters, it is the intellectual property rights realm which is going to give you all that, right? You're not going to get your business done just by having billions of money in your basket by virtue of which you can start your business. You are not just going to have your business done by reaching out to a particular market. All that market identity, right? Investors' reliability, or shareholders' reliability, right? Contractors are different raw material suppliers' reliability. All that will be fostered, benefited by the fact that you have got a particular type of intellectual property rights conferment, which is actually adding value to your business, which is actually lifting the face value of your business, which is actually adding color to your business. As I said, ranging from 1/3 to 50% of the stakes in your business would actually depend upon the kind of intellectual property rights that you are actually having. It could patent, it could be copyright, it could be trademark, or it could be design rights, whatever, depending upon the kind of business discipline you are into, the kind of intellectual property rights conferment would depend. But nevertheless, it could be any type of intellectual property rights that you are actually having, depending upon the kind of business you are into. That intellectual property would actually give you face value, it would give you competitive advantage to your business. It would ensure that in the market you have the recognition, a unique identity. It would help you in reaching out the customers. It would help you influencing the customer. That's why I said in one go, I can say that various stakes in your business would be addressed. Various interests in your business would be addressed by having intellectual property rights, either through registration or through obtaining the license. That is because intellectual property rights would give you that extra value or value addition to your business by giving you a brand identity, market recognition, consumer recognition, and as well interest among all those different stakeholders, including financiers, investors, shareholders, everybody who is connected with your business, and everybody will be valuing your business by measuring your intellectual property rights. And we call this as a due diligence. Valuing or measuring intellectual property portfolio, whatever your business house is having, that kind of measurement, we call it as due diligence. And that it comes into picture in general whenever your business is taken over by some other business house, or when you take over some other persons or some other business houses business, or when 2-3 different industries get merged, or when 2-3 different business houses get amalgamated, right? In those situations, due diligence of intellectual property rights is also needs to be done, right? Measuring buildings or any business articles, equipments will be done easily because all those things will have physical existence. But measuring the value of intellectual property rights would be a different task altogether for any business house for that matter, because it ought to be measured not in physical terms, but it ought to be measured in terms of its guaranteeing face value. it ought to be measured in terms of its market benefit, right? So it is a different task altogether, which can be only done by intellectual property lawyer. And that's why intellectual property lawyering is not just about providing help in terms of getting a patent, copyright, or whatever registered or giving you license, but intellectual property lawyering is also about helping the business houses in maintaining intellectual property portfolio, right? So when business houses maintain their balance sheets, right, profit and loss records, right, capital and investment records, all that they will do in general. But how they will mention the kind of intellectual property asset they are having, number of patents, what is the value of the patent, number of copyrights we are having, what is the value of the copyright, trademark, what is its value, your goodwill, what is its value, can all these patent, copyright, trademarks can be sold, resold, licensed, assigned, or whether a business can be sold, taken over without assigning or without selling the intellectual property rights, right? So that's why measuring intellectual property rights is a different task altogether. Intellectual property lawyering is also about helping those business houses in helping them in measuring or in identifying, finding out the actual value that the intellectual property rights like patent, copyright, trademark, and designs could accrue to the actual business houses. Believe me, in the modern day, it happened that in a number of case instances, more than the actual capital value of the business houses, sometimes the brand value, which has been given by, provided by intellectual property rights like patent, copyright, trademark, and designs, have accrued more worth, right? For example, you take in the current scenario, the pharmaceutical industry, or for that matter, in agrarian industry, or even computer-related industry. In the Indian scenario, Infosys, Mahiko, or Bharat Biotech's case instances, I can quote, where the intellectual property rights portfolio value is more giving more value than their physical assets. In the international scenario, I can quote Novartis in the pharmaceutical industry, Monsanto in the agrarian industry, IBM in the your computer related industry. Their intellectual properties worth is more than their actual physical properties worth, respectively, for their business house. So whenever they annually when they go for preparing the annual reports, annual accounts, and all, you will get to see that their intellectual property rights worth is having more value, more credibility, more worth than their physical assets, because it's all about branding, and that branding is giving you the market identity, that branding is giving you the consumer identity. And because of that only, see, for example, a consumer may not be knowing how much of investment you have actually poured in, how many scientists you have deployed, right, how many labors you have deployed, what kind of efforts that you have put in, but consumer will like you when you give him or her the kind of qualitative product that you're actually known for, right? Consumer would go by its quality and goodwill, and that quality and goodwill is guaranteed by your intellectual property rights, or it could be measured in terms of you having a particular type of intellectual property rights, in terms of you having patent, copyright, trademark, and design. So what I'm trying to say is, for any kind of business, national or international, the value addition, right? Sometimes it is more than value addition, because the example that I quote would give you an idea that more than half of the actual value is actually facilitated, indicated by the intellectual property rights itself, right? But at least you can say that 1/3 of any business standard, reputed, international, multinational business houses, to 1/3 worth is actually garnered, facilitated, indicated by their respective intellectual property rights portfolio, comprising of number of patents they are having, number of copyrights they are having, or number of trademarks that they're having, or the kind of quality goodwill that trademark is actually possessing, and as well the kind of industrial designs, number of designs that they're actually having. So all this would measure up to their actual brand worth, and depending upon the brand worth, branding, your business expansion will happen, or your business recognition at a national or international level will happen. So what I'm trying to say is, in any kind of business, national or international, intellectual property rights would give you not only the face value, value addition, but would amount to at least 1/3 of their brand value and recognition. That's the reason why any business house, for that matter, cannot ignore intellectual property rights, which is of paramount significance, and it is now mandatory for all the business houses to take care of their intellectual property rights portfolio for right measuring of their business, and as well for promoting the worth of their business. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. You have an excellent and informative presentation, and thank you so much. And now I would like to invite Professor Vincenzo Ferraro, a lawyer of Italy, to tell us more about business opportunities and challenge in Italy. Professor Vincenzo Ferraro.
Yes, hello, nice to speak with you. So I also sent you some slide that I asked you to share with the participants.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, so I go on. So if there are some questions after the my presentation that will take around other 16, 17 minutes, I am available to answer to your questions. Our office deal with different legal issue that can be interesting for an enterprise that is interested to invest in Italy. We operate in Italy, and by our connection also with a part of the European Union and of Europe, particularly in UK and in London. And I was telling that also our specialization that is not exclusive, but has to be combined with the other told sector in the public law and in the administrative law can help us to assist also foreign enterprises that can be interested to invest, to participate to public sector. And we can also assist for all the problems concerning the commerce discipline connected to an investment. So let's come particularly to consider the told two aspects that about which I want to focus in my intervention. Let's start about the economic situation in Italy, so we can change page just a few seconds. Okay, this is the division of our intervention. Then the other page show. Yes, we can change. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So let's start. So this slide can be also shared by between the participants. Okay, also they can send them. To publish them, I want to review better the text, and maybe we can do also together a paper on this thing, but for the moment they can for sure circulate between the participants. So let's start considering the Italian economic framework. So many of you know the Italian economy main sector. Italian economy is an economy that has a pretty strong history. Italy has been between the 8 more industrialized country in the world, and it's still part of the group of the more industrialized country in the world. That's why Italy, both in North Italy and South Italy, more of course in the north and the center north of Italy, cover the different sector, both of the primary sector, of the secondary sector, and also of the services sector. So the Italian economy is an economy that offers a wide range of opportunity to focus an area in which an enterprise and also a foreign enterprise can invest. So this is a short picture that we can yes, you can move this page just going to the other page. This was an introduction. Of course, the more industrialized area are in the North Italy, so we can focus. Yes, thank you. And so, but also the south of Italy can also benefit of an increase of the, for example, of the level of the road infrastructure of the road net that have been completed and made more modern in the last year. And so also the south of Italy can offer an opportunity of investment to enterprise that can be interested to invest in. The Italian economy has been characterized in the last year by a short, also because before then the pandemic intervention, a short decrease of the level of the PIL, we say in Italy, the gross product index. This is for many reasons. That's maybe for one end, also for the effect of the crisis of the first decade of this century, from which Italy has started to grow again only around the 2013, 2014. When the pandemic intervened, Italy had already the weak sign of a full recovery of the level had before then the crisis of the first decade. In 2019, the Italian economy was facing a short new recovery, and particularly this was evident for example, in the car industry, or also in the industry that make dresses, the manufacture industries that are very diffused, as maybe you know, particularly in the center and the north center of Italy, particularly in Tuscany, in Emilia-Romagna, and that represent an excellent example of the Italian economy. Okay, also studied by the economist, the economy scholar. In particular in this sector, and of course also in the services sector connected to the tourism, that represent not the exclusive reference of the Italian economy, but that represent, of course, an important core, an important feature of the Italian economy. In 2019, a short, a small recovery from the first weak sign of a full recovery from the crisis of the last decade was present. The pandemic, of course, has intervened. We can change the picture. We can change picture. The pandemic has intervened in this situation, of course, affecting an economy that already had, as I told, the sign of a not solved crisis. Maybe made bigger by the combination of the known fiscal policy connected to the aim of the participation of Italy, of the full participation and important full participation of Italy to the financial and monetary process of the European Union. That particularly after 2012 has forced Italy also by an increase of the fiscal of the tax pressure to respect some standard, particularly with reference to the deficit and debt criteria established by the Maastricht Treaty and then defined better by the European Union body. So, of course, the combination of this factor made the Italian economy at the moment of the pandemic intervention affected by weak. This situation, anyway, to this, the reaction of the Italian economy to this situation has been better and more interesting than we could provide for, we could fit. In fact, for one end, the Italian government was able in the good and in the heavy to approach some measure, like, for example, the granted loan for the enterprise and some loss fund contribution to the enterprise affected by the pandemic, that was able to maintain the level of the Italian economy at a level that cannot not worth too much the different parameter of the same economy of Italy. So for one end, this measure was useful just to balance the negative effect in Italy of the pandemic. For the other end, for sure, we can also tell that the same effect of the pandemic, particularly, of course, evident in the tourist sector, but not so fully strong in the last year when all the enterprise working in this sector worked at a normal level. For the other hand, the same economic effect of the pandemic were able to move the Italian enterprise to review some model, particularly with reference to the relationship between the same enterprise and the bank, or to plan in a new way the market strategy. For example, with reference to the dependence, to the relationship with the foreign market. So the pandemic is for Italy now an opportunity just to rethink, to review, and to consider in a new way the model of the economic model that was to which the different enterprise was having a reference in the past. And so maybe for this reason, the data that I have tried to show in this slide prove that Italy is having a short, not a small, but now not so small recovery from the economic effect of the pandemic. Many enterprise was closed, but generally the main part of the enterprise were for the moment able to maintain their position in the market. And also now we are also seeing, and now I come to the legal, the strict legal part, we can also see the effect of some reform that were introduced before than the pandemic, but that has represented a factor that has made stronger the answer of the Italian economy to the same pandemic, allowing just to diminish the effect that this crisis could have for the Italian economy. And I come to some legal aspects, particularly concerning, we can leave the indication on this page. I can pass to some legal aspects that, first of all, consider the role of the public administration. I was telling you that I particularly study and also deal with public administrative law, even if this sector is not the exclusive sector of my activity and of our office activity that has its main office in Firenze, in Florence. The relationship between the enterprise and the public administration has been in Italy in the last year, as we know, as many persons know, one of the weakest points of the opportunity that the Italian economy offered to the enterprise. We know that Italy, maybe also for its particular legal culture, has been characterized from a strong role of the public administration in the different procedure that can affect, for example, the opening of an economic activity. We know that notwithstanding the European Union law that particularly after 2006 by Bolkestein Directive has moved to simplify the procedure connected to the economic activity development, has been characterized since in the last year, still in the last year, by this public administration structure that was present also by this procedure in many moments of the activity of an enterprise. First of all, for many activity at the beginning, because many activity can be done by an authorization, by a concession, an award given by a public authority. But for the other hand, the public administration was and is present also in many development of this activity. First of all, it affects, this thing happened also by the European environmental law. It's not only the Italian question. To grant the environment good also can affect many aspects of the economic activity. So we moved from a picture, from a framework of this kind. In the last year, particularly just in the first decade of this century, but also after the 2012, many reform has been adopted, for example, to reduce the term that have been made the half, they've been halved, to terminate, to conclude the procedure that can affect the enterprise. Many procedures that required a formal public act to open an activity have been substituted by a simple declaration that the private subject or the economic subject, public or private, can present to the public administration just to do something, for example, or to build something or to do an economic activity. So, and this reform has been done in the last 15, 20 years, and particularly started to produce their effect in the last year. So,
Professor, sorry, you have 2 minutes to conclude because we have another speaker.
So I come to that. So for one hand, the administrative public administration role. For the other hand, the civil procedure judgment duration. Another feature that discouraged enterprises to invest in Italy was the long duration of the civil law judgment. This judgment, both for the executive enforcement procedure and also for the procedure of cognition, directed to know the situation and the existence of the title, have been diminished, just discouraging the part conduct directed to take time just to postpone the decision. And particularly the procedure, the enforcement procedure has been characterized by a diminution of the term that have been halved, have been made the half than the previous term. So both these aspects make for sure more interesting now, also in connection with a recovery from the economic crisis that in Italy seem stronger than in the main part of the other country, promising to come back for the next year to a normal situation. We hope also in this year, in the summer, for the touristic sector, then this situation affected by the pandemic, make interesting Italy as a country in which an enterprise can invest. I come from to the last aspect. We can move. Thank you. Concerning the company law, we can go to the other page, to the last page. We can consider also some for at the end. Finally, some company law aspect. In Italy, as an interesting aspect that is also advantaged by some fiscal incentive, that is the limited liability company that in Italy is called Società Responsabilità Limitata. That usually require a capital of 10,000 euro to be opened. And of course, for sure, the normal model with 10,000 euro of capital is suggested because also of the preference that the bank have for this kind of company in the perspective of a loan that can be done to the company. And the bank can give also loan, particularly to European established company or enterprise that have good activity for the activity. And but in Italy, in the last year, there is also a simplified model that can be interesting for light enterprise that does not want to open a strong structure in Italy, that allow to have only one hero of capital, and particularly give the possibility to open the company just jumping many administrative and procedural aspects that are important to open the same company, with also reduced cost, both particularly for the overture and also partially for the management of the company. This company is called Società a Responsabilità Limitata Semplificata, Simplified Limited Liability Company. So also with reference to the company law instrument, Italy can give the possibility to choose the best way, the best sides in which an economic activity of an enterprise can be done in Italy. Of course, and I come to the conclusion, the particular form of the choice of the size and of the kind of the intervention in Italy can be defined according to the particular aim and the particular goal of the same enterprise, just discussing with the legal office the same goal, finding the way, the procedure, and the form in which that cannot be necessarily the limited liability company form, the economic activity can be realized. For this aspect, of course, we resend to the advice that an Italian legal office can give, and that we are available to give to all the enterprises that can be interested. And so I can confirm for sure that all this aspect, notwithstanding the current particular framework in which we are living, can be in the Italian environment, the Italian particular current situation, interesting in the perspective of an investment that has to be assisted anyway, always from the legal advice of an office that is specialized both in the European Union law and in the Italian law. For this availability, I confirm the same availability of our office. So I hope that this remark have been interesting for you and can make you curious about the Italian setup. I thank you again, and I wish you a good day and following up of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your excellent presentation. I would like to invite Mr. John EKEN to talk about business opportunity and challenge in Turkey. Mr. John EKEN is a double licensee. He's a lawyer in Turkey, and he's a lawyer at the same time in the United States and California. Thank you so much to being here, John. That you are looking your presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Poorhashemi, and it is great to see you as well. And thank you very much for inviting me for this talk. I will share my screen now. I think you can see my screen. Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, then I will continue. Here today, I will talk about Turkey and international business opportunities in Turkey. I want to share my presentation structure today. First, I will give a brief introduction, and I will talk about what support programs in Turkey available for foreign investors, import and export opportunities and challenges, and I will talk about some specific sectors foreign investors can invest in Turkey. And at the end, I will conclude what legal services we can offer and giveaways and Q&A. So if we start with introduction to international business, as Dr. Poorhashemi explained at the beginning of this conference, there are many treaties and international organizations basically regulate international business. I want to mention two important international treaties, New York Convention and EKEN Convention. And Turkey are party to both of the conventions. Why this is important? Because when someone invests in Turkey, if their business partners breach their contract and they want to bring a claim, generally those international transactions are subject to arbitration. And when there is an arbitration award, since Turkey is party to the New York Convention, those arbitration awards can be easily enforced in Turkey, which is very important for business purposes. Second, EKEN Convention and bilateral investment treaties. Turkey is party to the EKEN Convention, which is a mechanism to settle international investment disputes. And bilateral investment treaties, as you can see, there are 129 bilateral investment treaties Turkey is party to, and 80 of them are in force. This is important because any country who is from one of these 80 bilateral investment treaty jurisdictions that Turkey has signed can bring a claim against Turkey if their investment in Turkey goes wrong. So if they invest in Turkey, they are protected by these international treaties and they can basically seek their compensation from the Turkish government. So they are legally safe in that sense to invest in Turkey, which is important. So, and I want to give some basic examples. These are some major companies who invest in Izmir, the city where I grew up, the third largest city in Turkey. And I want to also talk about free trade zones in Turkey. As you know, free trade zones are important because of tax incentives and easy establishment of companies. In Turkey, there are 18 free trade zones nearly all around the Turkey, which is important to establish a company. So I want to give a vital data about Turkey. As you can see, Turkey is a big country, 83 million population, and GDP and per capita GDP is very high as well. And in terms of size, it is a pretty much big country, 783,000 kilometers square. And Turkey geographically is very important. It is between Asia and Europe. And because of this geographic location, many companies prefer to locate in Turkey so they can access both areas, Europe and Asia. So international business in Turkey, what kind of advantages there is? First of all, Turkey is a developing country. And as you can know, all developing countries basically promise a lot of good profits. Why? Because they want to attract international investors. And to do that, they give a lot of incentives. I will talk about them. And that's why Turkey basically promise a high return if they invest in Turkey. And there's a high potential because of its basic geographical location and the young population. You can access to many markets, European countries, Asian countries, and Turkey also surrounded by sea. 3 parts of Turkey are surrounded by sea, so it is basically open to shipping as well. And low cost and low labor costs. Basically, Turkey is a developing country. If you establish a company in the US, in the UK, labor cost is very high, but in Turkey, it is very competitive. You can produce your products in a much lower cost. So what supporting programs are available in Turkey? There are many incentives, actually. The most important ones I put here: tax incentives, interest-free loans by the government or from different banks that government will help to get, and incentives by the Ministry of Industry and Technology. There are 6 special investment regions in Turkey. And if you invest, you will be subject to many different incentives by the government and government subsidiaries. And a very important feature, you can easily get a Turkish citizenship if you buy a property over 250,000 US dollars. So if you get a Turkish citizenship, So this will help you to get rid of a lot of bureaucracy when you are dealing with Turkish bureaucracy. And the value of Turkish liras is an advantage at the moment. $1 is 8.6 Turkish liras. So if you are bringing a US dollar into Turkey, you will find that many things are cheap in Turkey. So these are from this website. You can check as well. Now I will continue with import and export opportunities in Turkey. If you are an investor in Turkey, you have a lot of custom duty exemptions. So you don't pay custom duty when you import some machines. And you don't also pay value-added tax if you investors have investment incentive certificate, which I will talk that we can help you to get that in Turkey if you decide to invest in Turkey. And there is also investment incentive from Turkish government between $50,000 or $125,000, depending on how much money you are investing in Turkey. And further exemptions for bigger investment, if you invest over 50 million Turkish liras, which is less than $6 million at the moment. Exemptions varies from income tax discounts to income tax exemptions, which is great because you will pay less income tax when you profit in Turkey. And it will also depend on investment and region of investment. Since today I have a limited time, I don't want to go into too much details, but after the presentation, you can ask me questions or contact me. So I will pass quickly. And important export challenges in Turkey. Turkey, some form of payments is not available in Turkey, such as PayPal. Not a big major challenge, but this is one thing you need to be aware if you think of using PayPal as a payment method. Purchase power of Turkish people is decreasing. This one might be one challenge if you want to sell your products in Turkey. Competitive market conditions, there are high number of manufacturers, so you need to compete that. And what solutions for those challenges? Producing in Turkey and importing to other countries instead of selling your products in Turkey can be a good option. Turkey can be your manufacturing hub for your businesses because of low cost I mentioned. Securing local partners, if you intend to sell products in Turkey, which is very important, we can help you on that as well. And payment through branches in other jurisdictions. So that's why PayPal or other payment methods will be available if you choose to use other branches for payments. Now, sectors and investments for foreigners in Turkey. Turkey is basically aims to increase its energy production, especially renewable energies, wind power, solar power, geothermal power, and other renewable energies. So there are high incentives in energy sector if you invest in Turkey. And I want to say this, for example, if your project costs $10 million, in some certain regions, if you invest, you can get up to $5 million loans from Turkish government. So you don't have to have the full amount of money for your project of investment in Turkey. You can get tax-free, interest-free loans from the Turkish government, up to 50%. And there are a lot of grants from Turkish governments as well. You might be eligible as well. You need to consider which sector you are investing and which region you are investing. If you decide to invest in Turkey, we can help you to get your all the grants and all the interest-free loans from the government. Agriculture is a very important sector in Turkey. Food, livestock, fish farming. Turkey's fish farming import value basically exceeding $1 billion. Major import partners, European Union, US, Russia, and Japan. And construction is a big market in Turkey. As I can say that there is easy way of relocating yourself to Turkey with just purchasing a property over $250,000. And Turkey sold over 45,000 real property to foreign people in the last years. So it is important. Hotel and tourism is very important. A lot of tourists are coming to Turkey. It is a very beautiful country. There are a lot of beaches and sceneries, so that's why a popular destination. So if you invest in hotel or tourism sector in Turkey, it's another good sector. And other sectors, there are many. I will not talk in detail here. I want to go into some links if you want to look at the options, what kind of incentives or what kind of sectors you can invest in Turkey. These are the government website. You can find more information. Since we are coming to 11:30, which is the scheduled time, I want to conclude my presentation here without going into details, but very importantly, I want to talk about what legal services we can provide for foreigners willing to business with Turkey. If you contact C-File, if you contact me, we can provide full service legal consultancy in Turkey for all your investments. Registering a company in Turkey, regular legal services and compliance. If you need any license, permit from the government or municipality, we can handle this. And monthly legal services, daily legal services, any kind of compliance on a regular basis, we can advise you on that. And employment and business law, we can help you with the immigration process or work permit for foreign workers that you want to employ in Turkey. And protection of the investment, as I said at the beginning, because of all bilateral investment treaties Turkey is party to, you can seek basically compensation from the Turkish government if there is something, either via litigation or arbitration services, and we can advise you on that. And my expertise is actually arbitration, so I can definitely help you on that. And assisting through citizenship, if you want to purchase a property, you can get the Turkish citizenship. We can help you on this process as well. And these are the major provides, because I want to tell you that if you decide to invest in Turkey, depending on your scale of your investment, there are many incentives. And if you contact us, we will make sure that you will get get access to all incentives, government incentives you are eligible as a foreign investors, which there are a lot. So contacting us through the investment is very important to get all the benefits and incentives from the government. So takeaways from this presentation: opening a company in a free zone in Turkey is very easy. Even if you don't open your company in a free zone, there are a lot of incentives for foreign investors. You can access to European and Asian markets, obtaining many incentives from the government. If investment is at risk, protection under BITs are available. And this is a good time to invest in Turkey because of the Turkish lira's value at the moment. For foreign investors, it is a very cheap country at the moment, but because of Turkey's potential, it is a very high promising. And when the Turkish lira is increasing again, you will basically get money without even producing anything because of this potential. So it is a good time to invest in Turkey. And now we are in the question and answer session. You can contact for investment opportunities in Turkey to C-File, to Dr. Poorhashemi, and this is my personal email as well. And thank you again for this presentation opportunity, invitation. And I will leave the word to Dr. Poorhashemi now.
John, thank you so much, John, for your excellent presentation and your expertise on opportunities and challenge doing business with Turkey. Great. It looks like we have covered most of the issue. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a good time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Poorhashemi.
Bye.
Bye-bye.